Welcome, my friends. This is Maniacal Incorporated. You join me at the start of another royal reign. The High King of Ireland, Rúadacán II, has died, and he has been succeeded by his Chancellor, Cuilén. In the last episode, I was calling him Cuilén. I was thinking that was probably wrong, because it would need an A father to make the O sound. And I gave it a bit of a look, and I think it's Cuilén. That's where the surname Cullen comes from. So Cuilén has succeeded Rúadacán as the High King after a very long and stable reign, and we're beginning to see a small bit of instability creep in. A lot of people are unhappy that we are tribal. I think we are the last remaining tribal entity in the British and Irish Isles. Of all of our vassals, they are all, from what I can see, they are all earls. So that's a bit problematic, and we do pretty much need to finish the progress to the feudal age as quickly as possible. So that's going to be one of our first and immediate goals, as well as the creation, potentially, of an empire. There's a couple of battles going on. There's a couple of interesting battles. We're also standing our forces. We're raising our forces, or actually Rúadacán was raising his army to deal with some raiders, so we're going to deal with that in a second. We will start where we always start, and we will take a look at the High King himself. So we can see that Cuilén has already completed the August trait. He's an eager reveler, like so many before him. He's reckless, he's a military engineer, charismatic negotiator. He's calm. So +1 to diplomacy, 1 to intrigue. Dread is going to drop quickly. He is compassionate. So intrigue goes down. Natural dread goes down. Dread decay increases. And he is also arbitrary. So we get a bonus to intrigue, a bit all over the place. And his stress gain goes up. And natural dread goes up a small bit. But he has little regard for others. He's merciful and sympathetic, and he takes things in his stride, leading a slow-paced life. That answers a question for me that I had when I gave a quick look around, which is how he would respond to this scenario. Here is his mother, and she was murdered by Catriona Nic Lotharingia. And if that name sounds familiar, it's because she's our sister. So I'm not too sure where she is at the moment. She's at Fortenhausen. I don't think that's in Ireland. That doesn't sound like an Irish name. So I was wondering how he would respond to this. I think he's going to pretty much respond by letting bygones be bygones. There's our poor mother. So it doesn't seem as though he's the vengeful type that he'd go and seek revenge or anything like that. I was wondering, what would he do? Would he try and start a plot to kill her, or would he try and arrest her? We have a lot of options across the top. I think we are going to start by taking a look at our lifestyle decisions. So he has no lifestyle chosen, but obviously we're going to go for the diplomacy lifestyle. 30% more experience. He's already completed one of the trees. He's very close to finishing off another one. And while it might be better to start down the diplomacy route, I think we'll just finish this off. To get the achievement, actually, we get Patriarch, which will give us 20% fertility. And Sound Foundations, each living child gives you 1 random skill. So we're going to pick the Family Focus, which gives us another 20% fertility. Why is a man of 57 years of age going for such high fertility? Well, we'll deal with that in a few minutes. Now we'll deal with appointing a new council, and this is where we're going to see some of the problems that I was speaking about there with the fact that people don't like us because we're tribal. Why does Gudbrand not like us? Short reign, foreign culture. Of course, we haven't forced Gudbrand to convert or anything like that. If we come up and look at our Chancellor, so we've one of our knights, I think, or definitely a former knight. He's pretty much the highest at a 19. I think with our own high skills, we can afford to allow Liachnon the Foolish, somebody Rúadacán was considering to succeed him. I think we can put him in there. He's a powerful vassal. Of course, because of our trees, I should have gone down through them a bit better. The options that we've picked already, the August tree anyway definitely has something relating to bonuses from powerful vassals on the council. So we're going to try and appoint powerful vassals where possible. And this will also bring him up a bit, so it'll make him happier. Steward, I think, is also a relatively straightforward choice. We could put Loed, who is, I just saw from his name, he's a half-brother of ours. We could put him on the council. Again, we have somebody who's unhappy. Loinchuk, son of the previous ruler, Rúadacán. And do we see something there about the fact that we are tribal? There's also high tribal authorities, another thing that's pissing people off, because of course we're trying to institute. We need to go up another step before we can go on to the feudal age, and we can actually do that, I think, in the next 3 to 4 years. So I'm actually going to appoint Loinchuk. He's just 1 point behind on stewardship. And now, probably, with the amount of people who dislike us, that didn't actually do a whole lot for his admiration. For the amount of people that dislike us, Spymaster is going to be an important one. And here's our problem. The highest person that we have absolutely despises us. He is the Earl of Ulster, or the Earl of Athlone, sorry. Tribal, -20, wants a seat in the council, -40. Liege holds de jure duchy. And of course, Cuilén, is the High Chieftain of Meath, which Athlone is part of. So he wants that. He wants my duchy. You can't have my duchy. It's my duchy. We'll deal with him in a second. We're going to have to deal with him somehow. Here is Bran. Bran is a son of Rian, somebody that we were previously considering for the High Kingship, until, of course, he was slain in battle. I like Bran. He's a giant, a 3-star intrigue figure. He's young. He's got a good solid jaw. Long flowing hair. This is somebody that we would consider for the High Kingship, along with, actually, this guy. Urcaid. One of the younger sons of the High King, Rúadacán. A 3-star military man. Siege engineer, he's quick. More than likely, this is the guy that we're going to support for the High Kingship. When he comes of age, give him another decade or so again. If Cuilén dies in that time, it could be going in some different direction. I'm going to put Bran in as our Spymaster for now, because at least he doesn't hate me. That's always good. And I imagine that we're going to have some problems at the start with... Bran, what are you even holding? Are you just posing? Are you just being weird? Bran, this isn't... You're not impressing me on your first day on the job. But then again, at least you're not holding a sword by the blade. So, you know, yeah, I can't be too harsh on you. So it's going to be important to have somebody there to disrupt schemes. And could even see about maybe putting our wife on assisting the Spymaster if things start to get bad. Speaking of wives, we have 2. Let's see who else we can get to marry us. Here is the arrange marriage screen. And we're going to come to relevance, and we are going to sort by rank. And we can see that 42 and flirty, Duchess Gisela of Upper Lorraine. She is a insular Christian. Don't even need to look at her stats. Don't really care. I don't care. Well, we will look at her just to explain. She has a daughter who is next in line to inherit. She is of non-existent household. But our hope is that with the fertility bonuses we got, I was hoping maybe she had some fertility bonuses as well. With the fertility bonuses that we've got and that we are going towards, hopefully we might be able to get an Uí Néill son and have them on the chair of Upper Lorraine. Now, it's saying we're related. I'm not too sure how closely related we are. Interestingly enough, in the... oh, it must have been the late 1010s. So around 1018, 1019, we were called into a war. Let's bring up the title history. Nothing is simple in this game. Nothing is simple. Okay, we'll come back to this in a second. We were called into a war by the chiefess of Nossi, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, to support this guy and his claim to Upper Lorraine to depose this guy. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. We didn't take part in the war at all, had no interest in it. So this guy, anyway, was installed, and now it is his family that controls it. So this was actually tremendously beneficial for us. The fact that this war came off, because now we're in a position to marry this woman. She's an insular Christian, as was this guy. And we're now in a position, possibly, to establish a greater foothold on the continent. We'd better marry her and get a child, first of all, before we start talking about anything else. Of course, we could marry Bran off to her daughter. That's another option, or to marry somebody. And finally, as for who we are going to support for the succession, we're going to see, it's probably going to hop around the place for the next couple of minutes as the vassals actually get to grips with the new scenario and start to appoint somebody. But for now, I am going to support Urquaid. So we're going to put our vote in behind him. They're saying that he's become our new player heir, but again, and he's also vanishing through the screen. Again, we'll actually see what happens when the vassals come around to deciding who it is that they actually want in place. It's looking like Lochnawn maybe at the moment. So yeah, we'll hold off for a couple of minutes and we'll come back and we'll address this maybe within a few months. Rúadacán's career started during a feast when his predecessor Cuilén died, and his career came to an end during a feast, which is technically still in place. So we're going to do the exact same thing that we did with Rúadacán. We're going to start our reign by holding a feast. We're going to lose some stress, which we actually do have, and gain some prestige, which we need badly. Our prestige is quite low at the moment, and it's limiting our options in terms of war. So we're going to send out the invites. As soon as I unpause the game, we're going to get probably a couple of really odd pop-ups and scenarios. We seem to be in a war at the moment for somebody's claim to another duchy. I'm hoping that that war is going to either come to an end or that we'll be taken out of it, and I will try to force peace there, because I would actually rather that the duchy doesn't change hands. So we're going to see what happens there. Up here at the top, Rúadacán was raising the Irish army to come down and strike at some raiders from Jorvik, or not from Jorvik, from Iceland. I don't know how the hell I thought that was Jorvik. I got confused because that's an interesting scenario. We're going to be revisiting the entire Icelandic debacle quite shortly. So let's see what happens when we unpause the game. We're also going to get a pop-up that the High King is dead. A cheery gathering. The guests are gathered in the great hall, lords and ladies from the near and far realms of the reaches. The bright is mood, the high are spirits, as the begins feast. I wish I could say it's early in the morning, it's not. And so we have secured our alliance. Well, we'll have secured an alliance, but we have secured a marriage to Upper Lorraine. Let's see what we can do there. Excellent. Right then, this war over here does not appear to be coming to an end. It looks, however, as if we win, then whoever had the title will keep it. So maybe it's maybe it's best that we try and actually secure victory in that war. A laudable effort, as the feast is underway, and our guests are eating and drinking merrily. The High Queen approaches another High Queen. That's our wife, and this is also our wife. Okay. It's a marvellous feast. All my compliments to the hosts. I presume you were also hosting. I don't know. This is weird. I can either take all the credit or household efforts. Let's see what household efforts give us. Oh, there's a little wheel now in the top right hand corner that tells you when the lock has taken place. Direct vassal opinion. I think that's what we're going to go for. Rhiannon deserves all the credit. So we're sending 2 of our armies down from the north to deal with these raiders, and hopefully we'll be able to use this other army to assist in defeating the large army that we see there. As plate after plate of food is brought into the guest hall, an unmistakable smell reaches me. Is it Rúadacán's rotting body? That my arrogant vassal, Countess Moraid, is sensitive to coriander is something I sadly forgot to tell the cook. Oh, Cuilén, you devil! So she'll get a bad reaction. So we're delighted. Are we delighted? I don't know. Is this meant to be ironic? I sadly forgot. If we let this happen, we'll gain stress. So we'll save her. We'll get a weak hook and 75 prestige. The raiders are moving in some direction. Finch Nocta is now the player heir. The raiders have decided to go and raid someplace else. So we will pause quickly. And now we're having a conversation with her. As one plate of food is replaced by the next, my vassal goes on and on about court alliances. And that was how we salvaged that mess. Are you sure I am not boring you, my lord? No, please do go on. 1 diplomacy and 1 learning. And why don't we talk more about you instead? We grow closer to forming a friendship with the Countess. We lose some stress and gain opinion. I believe that we have... We might actually just check that very quickly. I believe that we have a bonus to friendships. The more friends we have, the more stress that we're going to get at the very end. So each friend adds -5 stress gain, so we gain stress less. Each friend relations gives you 2 random skill points. There you go. So getting friends is something that we want to do. Other things that are of benefit to us. This is something I forgot about. We're going to be doing this shortly. Every High King I have played as so far has wanted to do this. We haven't been in a position to do it. And what else is of value to us? There's a few things here. Diplomacy per level of fame goes up. And of course our monthly prestige per powerful vassal on the council. That's the one why I want to try and get these powerful vassals onto the council. Our guests depart. Everyone headed to their respective homes. I am proud to say that the feast was a success. Until next time. So I think from here what we will do is bring both of these armies in to strike against the raiders. And what is... Ayrshire is going to be sieged down. Ayrshire has been sieged down. Where can I bring them to? Maybe bring them to there, just in case this 2400 army is going in against us. They are, by the looks of it. They're sidetracking us. What's going on here? What? Okay, I think we're going to hit them now. I didn't realize so few of this army was actually ours. I've also stopped looking at this battle up here. I didn't want to catch them if it wasn't necessary. Of course, our allies have abandoned us at an inopportune moment. Oh. Our sister has died from her wounds. Can we get in time to save this army? The Isles are sending one soldier back. We did. Just about. Oh, they're bringing one man in on either side. Will he turn the battle? Is it too late? Yeah, in he goes. 6,740 men against one. There you go, our third great victory. Let's look at the details. Mayor Kinnity, can you imagine what it must have been like for him showing up and realizing I've made a terrible mistake? What did he do? Was there like one of our soldiers lagging behind? And he killed him. And he was like, haha, I've won. And then the remaining 6,759 men turn around to face him. And he realizes, oh, I've made a terrible mistake. Just to take a quick look at the other battles. I do this because it throws up interesting names. People that we kind of see from one battle to another. Interestingly enough, Cuilén himself achieved some kills in a battle in Swedish Wales, or Schwales, as the kids call it, in 1021. So while I was editing one of the last videos, his name popped up there. Now he has prowess of 6, so that was back in the days when Rúadacán was in desperate need of knights, and we were really scraping the bottom of the barrel. But Cuilén actually served in the armies, and it's interesting to see some of these figures pop up from time to time. And of course, Rúadacán had served in the armies of Máel Tolai. Máel is up here with 42 kills. And then we have Olfus, as I insist on calling him, because I'm not too sure how his first name would be pronounced. And then I think that's pretty much all. There's Giles or Giles. Arcade, I think this is actually his first battle. That would be... Are we supporting him for the succession at the moment? We are. He is, of course, the son of Rúadacán. Probably people at home now watching, screaming, dear God, take him out of the armies. We've had some dramatic battles, and the entire history of the kingdom has turned on a few battles due to important people being killed, which is quite true to historical reality. So I think that adds a hint of risk to every single battle when we're seeing some of the most important people in the kingdom going in to fight for their lives and their legacy. So that was our victory over Iceland. And then if we see, there's Gudbrand, 95 kills. There is, I'm trying to see, is he, these are probably all technically our vassals in one way, make, shape or form, because I think this is kind of a civil war to a degree. Poor old Cormac. And Giles seemed to have gotten up to this one as well. Oh yeah, we bought the army in late. That's right, there's Arcade. And yeah, Gudbrand, 95. What a career he's had. 57. And he's only gone up in prowess. My God, he's up to 33 prowess now. I think he was he at 23 when we hired him or something? Oh, he's a legendary blade master. Whoa, plus 12. Undoubtedly the greatest champion that the kingdom has had. If we look at his absolutely monumental kill list, oh, it actually has gotten monumental. I remember at one stage quite recently he only had 1. Yeah, no, he's been improving. So He has a count to his name, a thane, and they've all had... He can't just... Cormac was the first person he actually killed in battle. Everyone else he ripped their heads off. What a career he's had. I was wondering there for a second if... Do you think there's still some people at Rúadacán's party and they've just been sitting there politely for the last 5 months? They think he's fallen asleep. He was dreaded. He was feared in his life, so they don't want to wake him. And they're just still sitting there. So I was thinking about that, but then we've gotten this pop-up. Our sister, Kovla, has been executed. Now, she was in Barcelona. I forget who she was married to. Well, that's who she was married to. So she's been executed by her husband. I see that she is rakish and that she is an adulterer. So it looks like the Count of Barcelona had our sister executed for being bold. Again, we've probably taken this in our stride. We're calm. We're arbitrary. But, yeah, there you go. I don't know what to make of that. That's 2 siblings dead in less than a year of our actual coming to the throne. And actually, while we're here, I said we'd take a look at our mother. And this is our full family. So these are our full siblings. And they are both dead. And of course, our younger brother was Volvari. Our mother got it into her head that was a nice sounding name for some reason. And she had him named Volvari, or suggested it. And then he actually turned into quite a good intellectual. And I was considering supporting him for the High Kingship at one stage. But unfortunately, he had his head ripped off by Gudrod. And Gudrod is still wandering around the place somewhere. We wait for the circle. We wait for the circle. And there we go. He's still wandering around somewhere. Is he up there? Is he up there? I think he is. He's a spy master. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting. That's his entire career. So I knew he was hanging around the place, but I didn't know exactly where he was. That's interesting. The court lacks both a physician and somebody skilled enough to be appointed to the position. I've put the word out looking for anyone qualified. Nobody qualified has showed up, but Scannell is the best. That guy's insane. He's not the best. I was going to say he's not the best by much. I suppose he's grand. So apparently he's quite experienced. I don't believe you, but we'll still give him 50 quid to take the position. And while we're here, we'll find a wife for him. He's lowborn, so we'll organise a matrilineal marriage. She's 14 at the moment. Anla. And she is the daughter. We'll send this proposal first of all. She is the daughter of Phalamede Fitzpatrick, a peasant leader who rose in a rebellion against us. We captured him, forced him. I don't think we had to force him to convert, but we made him join our army and serve with us. We of course married him off to a daughter of one of the former kings, Cuilén. So I think this was under Rúadacán's rule. And now, I realise, I got a pop-up, I think it was in the last episode, popped up and I didn't get time to check it out fully, that somebody had murdered somebody. I'm sure it doesn't make much of a difference. Well, he was murdered by this individual. And they died from internal injuries only a few months later. And we can see he's missing his arm. So this guy was a high-ranking, a fairly high-ranking knight of ours. I love that they have finally put in the kill list, because the amount of times that I have wanted to see which of my knights has killed the most people. This guy did great service for us, in fairness to him. I don't know if he ever served as a marshal for any period of time. I'm disappointed now that I've actually figured out what that pop-up was about to discover that he died. That's a pity. I would probably have landed him at some stage. She's a guest in High Chieftain Liachnán's court. We could consider marrying her off to somebody again. I don't think we'd get an alliance. And both of her brothers, actually, are dukes in various different places. I think they inherited places directly from, or they hold titles, they inherited places directly from Cuilén on his death. Well, that's a disappointment. So Scannell, sorry, has become a novice physician, and at the very least, the family name will live on, if they can have children, the Fitzpatrick name. I'm not entirely too sure what the hell we're doing here. We're going to siege down some of the areas that were taken. And hope that basically somebody just goes and has a white piece. That would be optimal. We're seeing the King of Sweden has lost some wars. Like I said, Sweden is being torn apart. Its numbers are very low. So that's of tremendous benefit to us. And the other thing is that some knights are joining the court. So I sent out word for knights to appear, and we'll take a look at hiring some of them in a few minutes. The King of Sweden has lost yet another war. I think we're going to be seeing quite a lot of those pop-ups coming in. He was involved in a lot of them, and he's going to be our neighbour probably for a long time. We're sending our army down. The other Hebrides have moved troops here into Galloway. So we're going to try and come down and attack them. I think it's the outer Hebrides that's responsible for this war. We've also lifted the siege of Ayrshire, so hopefully this is all going to come to an end shortly. It would be great if somebody would just issue a white piece, and we also have a lifestyle perk. So I had said that we were going to go for sound foundations. Each living child gives one random skill point, and then we were going to go on for the patriarch achievement. I think we have plenty time to get those, one way or another. It doesn't make too much of a difference. We would like to try and have a child with our wife, the Duchess of Upper Lorraine. But if we come for thoughtful, it will put us into foreign affairs effectiveness, and well, foreign affairs effectiveness might be the most useful. This will be useful to us. Fellow vassal opinion plus 15. Independent ruler opinion plus 15. Fellow vassal opinion. Fellow? Is that my vassals? Or hello, fellow vassals? Says Steve Buscemi. Do you know what? We'll go for sound foundations, because I'm not too sure. Actually, I don't know, is that my vassals of me, or people who are also vassals like me? So we'll go for sound foundations at the moment. So when I clicked on that, there was a little cling, and I didn't know what the hell that was for. And if we come up here, it tells us maximum perk bonus reached. You've reached the maximum bonus amount that a perk can give. Some perks, like sound foundations, have a maximum amount of skill points that they can grant. So that's really handy, because there are a couple of things that have that. I think Dark Insights is another, that you can earn 5 whatever intrigue, or 5 is it prowess, by torturing people, but you don't really know when you've actually reached your achievement or when you've reached your max. Well, you do now, so take them. If we come here, I didn't think we had 5 children. It said we could earn up to a maximum of 5. So we've 3 children. God damn it, our children like us. This is one of the first rulers that we've ever had where I've never seen so much green on the page all at the one time. Everybody either likes us or they're dead. Ooh, I wonder, is there a correlation there? For her absolutely staggering diplomacy, I think we're going to actually make Giselia our primary wife. We're It'll also make her like us a bit more. And is there anything else we can do? Do you know what? Both for the prestige and for the desires of having a child, we'll try to romance her. Okay. What's going on here? What is our promise? Okay. This is interesting. Apparently we know the heritage of this child. I should have clicked here instead. We already have a lover. There's more pages than just family. I should really check some of these other pages sometimes. I didn't realize this. We have a lover. And the lover has 3 children. One of whom is the High Chiefess of de Hybert. So it looks like at least one, if not all 3 of these are our children. That's very interesting. Cuilén, you old devil, you. So instead of going for the romance scheme, it wouldn't make a massive amount of difference to lose 60 opinion with somebody who's lowborn, but we'll do the seduce scheme on our wife instead. It's always bad when you have to seduce your own wife. And we just about managed to catch them. The forces from the Outer Hebrides. Now our allies are turning around and coming in. Ulfus has ripped somebody's head off. The worst thing is, like, this is great, but these are all my vassals, technically. Like, once this war ends, I need these people. Okay, we're up to 80%. I need to bring this war to an end. I want this war to end the way I can go and war other people. Are we going to have to march up to the Outer Hebrides? That was an awkward enough place to take when I actually had to take it the last time. Did we take it or did we just force vassalization? I can't remember. I went to check my council and it told me that I have no wives available. I thought that's surely not right, but then of course it struck me, well, one of them isn't even in the court, or I should say that my primary wife isn't actually even in the court. So we'll go and find somebody else to marry. Here's an interesting character who popped up at the very top. She's the only child of a duchess in some high queen in some far-flung area. I have no idea where it is, but she's in line to inherit a duchy and a county. So I think this would be a fantastic idea. Yes, I did just marry my stepdaughter. Christmas has gotten a whole lot more strange, and it's been accepted. To the charming High King Cuilén of Ireland, I gladly accept your marriage proposal. You will be joined with my daughter, Elizabeth, in holy matrimony. How does this work? What's the relation between these two women now? Are they sister-in-laws? I'm not even... Great, thanks. As always, we'll take a look at the slaughter that we inflicted there a few minutes ago. Cahamall is up near the top. Giles or Giles. Arcade, look at... Oh, he's gotten himself a nice beard. So I put him in command of one of the armies because of his siege ability, and then I was clicking through all the armies trying to find him again, and I couldn't because I'm just so unused to his beard. So fair play to him. Who else have we seen that's of interest? So here is an Earl Cucarcamoor. So somebody is taking the name of Cucarcamoor. Here is a Scanlon Mac Trenca. And Trenca if I am right, was a son of Scanlon. Do you know what? We'll check. So there is Trenka, and there is Trenka's father, Scanlon, who was the Duke of Leinster. Trenka was actually deposed at some stage. I saw this as well. That's not Trenka. Oh no, where's he gone to? Oh wait, no, there he is. Trenka was deposed at one stage. I now need to actually find the Duchy of Leinster. We'll have to dismiss you. So there's Scanlon as the Duke of Leinster. Then you've Trenka, and he was forced to abdicate to his son. And then he was forced to abdicate to his son. So it's gone in a straight line. It's Scanlon died from his wounds, and then it went to Trenka, who was forced to abdicate to his son, who was forced to abdicate to his son. Is this thing going to happen to you? Will you be forced to abdicate? I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's happening. The breakup of Sweden. Norway has extended its grasp massively into Norway, and very beneficially for us. It has taken a county here, and it has taken a couple of counties in Schwales. So it's taken 2 of them. And that's beneficial to us because, of course, before, if we wanted to take these 2 counties, we'd have needed to declare war on Sweden to take one of them, then waited a while, then declared war to take the other one, then waited a while. What we can now do is basically declare war on Sweden, take this one, declare war on Norway, take this one, and then wait another while and take 2 more counties. We're only in a position to do it in dribs and drabs. Actually, this is rather interesting. What's after happening here? These guys are they totally independent? They are. You should totally become my vassal. You really should. It would be a great idea. It would be most beneficial to you. Let's try to sway this gentleman. I think that will end our personal scheme to seduce the High Queen. It will, if we can sway this guy and get him over to our side. I think that's going to be more important at the moment. What is it? -16. We could overcome that. And of course, if we can't overcome that -16, we can invade. So that's tremendous. We're actually seeing this entire area rent asunder into small powers that we can pick off one by one, but one by one very quickly, instead of one by one waiting 4 or 5 years in between. I'm sending the army with Urquaid and his onagers up to siege down the Outer Hebrides. We're already up to 85 war score, so hopefully we mightn't even need to do this, but it's just to get this war over and done with, and to start looking around at some other stuff we can do. And he's not able to siege down that area. That is where the attacking army is coming from, but we're not actually at war with them. I don't know what to say. Oh, we are sieging it. My apologies. It was hidden. It was hidden because we were too far out. Here is a prisoner that we took, I think, in the last siege. He has no lifestyle selected. We can't even figure out... Oh, we can actually figure out how ill he is. He's in poor health. He's wounded and ill. And because we are compassionate, we will demand his conversion, which he will not accept. He wants freedom, but he is reluctant to convert. Well, fair play to you, I suppose. We lose 10 dread. If we get a weak hook, we'll keep that dread. I think this is going to be the first ever ruler that will not be dreaded. It's not in Cuilén's DNA. It's not in his style to execute. I've stood down all the armies at maybe a bad time, because we see that the forces are actually coming around in to siege down Lothian. Hopefully we can get the place siege down earlier. Has he gone right back to being a commander? He wasn't much good. So yeah, they're actually going in a long roundabout way. They're coming back to Ayrshire. Oh, we do actually have an army down here. One that I missed. How handy. This is a very interesting scenario that has just popped up in terms of the succession. Let's take a look at this man. I can't pronounce his name. I think it is Ektigern. I will check that out. He's not great. Insightful thinker. Like a 2-star. It's not 10 learning. He's acclaimed to Leinster. It's not much. I mean, does he have any valuable relatives or alliances? We don't see any. Who's he married to? Martha, and her claim to Iceland. And here is their child. Oh God, what's after going on? Duchess Martha of Damascus. Oh dear God. And he's also a member of her family. So they're close relatives somehow. Oh God, this is exactly what I wanted to avoid. So, was it under Máel Tolai or was it under Rúadacán? I think it was in the very earliest days of Rúadacán's career. We found this woman, she was in our court. We married her to a distant branch of the family with the desire of having Uí Néill children that we could place on the throne of Scotland, or not Scotland, Iceland. And this is the scenario we have ended up with. Dear God. And I was even thinking at the start of this episode of befriending this guy. I referred to the Icelandic scenario, or the Icelandic debacle, of befriending this guy and trying to encourage him to come to our court, because he will not come to our court. And I was trying to bring him to the court and get her married off to somebody. Oh, this is... I'm going to close that window and just look away. Oh, the poor dudes. They've been caught by some other army and now they're caught by us as well. So I think this battle here is actually going to bring the war to an end. I wouldn't be surprised. And it did. And it also made us holy. So I'm gonna... Should be able to stand them down. Nope. There you go. I don't think anything happens. I don't think any land changes hands. Doesn't look like it. So be it. With that war finally over, we're in a position to actually start our reign. There's a couple of different things that we can do. We need prestige, we need money, we pretty much need everything. We have a couple of options across the top, including a rather interesting one, which is to found a holy order. I didn't think we'd be able to do this until we got into the feudal age. Now, this would create a couple of problems, because where we can do this is in Armagh. Somehow, Armagh, which we control, has built a church and a city. My plan still is, and I think I'm going to do this right now, we're going to give Oriel to this guy. We're going to grant him Oriel. It includes leased out holdings to a church holding. Yeah, sure. We'll give him Oriel. We'll grant him that. Look at how happy he is. No, he's not happy. And we are now going to revoke the title of... And this could start a war. He might refuse. He will. God damn him, you devil. So he was going to refuse this anyway. We'll revoke this. I think I've just given him more soldiers. That's basically all we've managed to do, is just give him more soldiers. I don't have a hook on him. So it looks like we're going to be having a war in a few seconds. He has one ally in Ossory. I'm not too pushed. We should be A-okay. And you know what? Before that war begins, so little does Cuilén care. He's actually going to go on a pilgrimage. So we've prepared the journey. And you know what? We've never gone there. I think Cuilén is going to travel. Yeah, this is indeed the shortest. To Canterbury. To see a region that is going to come under our control quite shortly. So I hope. As I prepare for my journey, I know that I will travel safely under the protection of God while I go with the Lord. My realm must wait, however long I am gone. It is time to depart. And we are told that no, he will not give us Athlone, rally the troops. And I've moved my rally point to Dublin. And I am hoping that he realizes immediately that he has made a very bad decision. I don't know where he's going. We're going to bring these guys south quickly to cut him off if he's making an attempt to head out to sea, which I think is maybe what he's doing. Goodbrand is commanding that army, and then Giles, or Giles, we'll call him Giles, is commanding the other one. No, he's stopped in a rather foolish place. The Tears of St. Brendan. Even when on pilgrimage, the priests still hold Mass every Sunday. It is held out in the open when no church is nearby. But early this morning a storm rolled in and has not ceased. Undeterred, a zealous prior is standing out in the pouring rain giving a sermon about perseverance in the face of adversity. Despite this, the size of his audience is rapidly dwindling as discouraged adherents seek refuge from the torrential rain. Markharthuk, could you not have done this? Could you have done this some other time? What is a little rain to a faithful insularist? I mean, what's a little rain to the Irish? 27% chance that we become ill, and becoming ill while travelling poses very high risks. Forget this madness. I'll be in my tent. What is a little rain to the Irish? And because of that, we've discovered a new fascination. And we've become ill. Damn it. So, this is Scanlon's first major test. Scanlon, do no more than is necessary. I'm feeling a little brighter, so it's a good thing we took him on the pilgrimage with us. Excellent work. Okay, let's pause. We got a couple of updates there. The other pop-up we got was that we have completed the innovations tree, or all of the tribal innovations. We are just a few months out from being able to press the button and go on to the feudal age. We're not going to do that. Well, no, we are. We're going to press that button, the one that I've highlighted now, but we're not going to actually adopt the feudal practices for a while more. We need to make some preparations. Anybody that knows anything about progressing to the feudal age, or some of the fears about progressing to the feudal age, knows what's coming. So we'll continue this war first of all. Hopefully we're going to get our army down in time to hit them. We are indeed. I'm pretty confident that we can take care of that. So I think what we will do with this army is split it. We don't need to worry too much, I don't think, about kind of keeping them equal. I'm wondering now if we have access anymore to Arcaid, who we're supporting for the High Kingship, because he was the Count of Lancashire, and I've just given that to I've given the county. It's now under Man. It's very hard to see there, but there you go. So I gave Cochmal the title of Duke of Lancaster. There's still 2 more counties that he needs to be given to actually form the duchy fully, and I accidentally gave one of them to a super count. So he has a massive territory there. Let's see how this war progresses, or this battle. You fool! I gave you a county. I am finally here, body and soul, at the great Abbey of Canterbury. As the abbot offers me blessings and limsip, I reflect on everything that had to happen for God to bring me here at this moment in time. I walk the holy path. So they're retreating in some direction. If they're going to retreat further north, there is a possibility that they're going to be able to regroup and attack our small unit that we have up here. So we might, yeah, that's exactly what's happened. Oh wait, no, that's not what's happened. My guys got there first. I got confused. And there you go, that didn't take too long. My journey has been a long one. No, it hasn't. But I have finally come home again. And pilgrimage ends. And we're no longer ill. As I woke this morning and saw rays of sunshine falling through my window, it took me a moment to realize I had slept soundly for the first time in weeks. I did not wake up coughing once. That's the sign of success. The worst thing now is that it's going to be probably a lengthy siege of these areas. Athlone is going to take a while, says he, as it comes close to being over halfway finished. I actually thought they'd take Oriel first of all. I don't know what we'll do with him now for being an arsehole. I gave him a county and I just wanted Athlone. It'll make him happy because he's no longer going to be pissed off and under given out about not having a full duchy. We got a pop-up empty council position. Oh, because somebody's been taken prisoner. Leinshuk didn't like us, and I was actually thinking of maybe trying to sway him or something. Who doesn't hate me? Finshnakta. We could give him a position. He's a powerful vassal. It's only an 11 though. Yeah, do you know what? We'll give it to him. I've actually had everyone increasing development with the last while. I'm gonna find a better place for him to increase development than that. Actually, do we need him to increase development at the moment? I don't think so. We'll put him back onto collecting taxes. For the first time in a very long time, somebody is collecting taxes instead of trying to increase the development levels. And now that we've come back from pilgrimage, what better time to call a hunt than now? Sound the horn. Well, just another couple of really quick pop-ups there. Leinshuk has actually been released straight away from prison, so we could put him back as our councillor. A good thing we called a hunt because we're going to need to drop some stress. Our brother Luaid, and I was actually also thinking about him for the position of steward. He was just above Finshnakta. And I should just point out also that Finshnakta has actually declared war on Sweden to take this area. I would have given it to him anyway if we'd taken it, so that's even better. It saves us to maybe declare war for here. I mean, you could see a quick spate of wars taking these 3 remaining areas now, if these guys don't accept vassalization, instead of having to go and declare war on Sweden for one of them, then the next one, then the next one, then the next one. So this is absolutely fantastic the way this is working out. But poor Luaid, who our father left with the name because there was references to Lu, the sun god. He executed a daughter of Vanya. Why would you do that? Vanya's only child. Why would you do such a thing? So there was Vanya, who we were considering for the High Kingship. A long time ago, 4-star, brilliant strategist. And then he went away off to North Africa. When did he die? 1010. And she died in 1032. At least he didn't live to see his daughter's execution. Why would you do that, though? Why would you do that? So, she has had a child. Who knows why anyone in this family does any of the things that they do? And the other thing that I just see is that he died from his wounds. So he was involved in some battle, and he was of course the High Chieftain of Ulster. Once this war comes to an end up here, I'm probably going to be giving Oriel to Ulster, so there's a good chance that your man is going to be revoked from his land. We could have built a holy order there in Armagh, but what we're going to do instead is go into the feudal age, build something here in Athlone, and hand that over to the insular Irish holy order. We're going to have a bit of a discussion when they pop up. Pop-ups galore. My lord, a hare. My lover gestures for me to join her in the chase. As soon as we are hidden in the plains, she turns around and tugs my shirt over my head. Finally, some time alone, my dearest. And what can we do here? Fresh air and exercise for 5 years. +1 to diplomacy and a huge boost to health. Do you know what? We could do with a boost to health. El Gol is our new player heir. This is the guy who we had actually considered for the High Kingship. I think we were supporting him before we started supporting Cuilén. The hunt ends. I'm unsure if anyone caught anything. I caught something. Get 150 prestige. Getting a couple of pop-ups. I'm going to take a look at those now in a second. Oriel has already been sieged. Athlone. How many times has Athlone been sieged down now at this stage? Is this the 4th or 5th siege of Athlone? We get a... I don't know what the hell we got there. We got a trumpet. We got all sorts of things. Right. Enforce our demands. You absolute fool. So be it. Here was the one and only battle we had. You can still hear them beating on their shield in the background. I think you can anyway. Yeah, there they are. Still baiting away at that shield. Gudbrand was actually demoted by Ulfus in terms of kills. There's Cathmal. Like I said, we just gave him Lancashire. Or put Lancashire under his control. Eriker is somebody that we hired quite recently. We'll just check. Has he seized? He hasn't. He's left. Arcade still has Lancashire. So there's actually Athlone's forces. They're still there baiting on their drum. And so we're going to stand down the armies and we're going to sort a few things out. So here is Molkeen, or Molkane. The silly old fool, he should have just accepted his new county, his little transfer, but now he's in prison. I'm going to let him out of prison. It's fine. We'll negotiate his release. We lose 10 dread. I have already, as you can see, taken Athlone, and I have given up Oriel. And I have put Oriel under our nephew, Chieftain Máel Tolai II. Luaid's son, who passed away, quite shortly. And this guy now, he hated us when he was our vassal. Now he's down to -50 after we took some land off of him. After the Battle of Clontarf, long after the Battle of Clontarf, well, within about, I think 70 years or something, I think it was the late 10, early 1100s, members of the Ivrian family, I have to check again, I think it was Murcarthach, commissioned Cogga Goel Regalov, the Wars of the Irish with the Foreigners. An account, ever so slightly biased, of the long history of Viking involvement on the island of Ireland and the part that the Ivrian played in bringing that to an end. Sure, we'll say that. At the Battle of Clontarf. We are going to use this opportunity to commission an epic. It will be an epic telling of the life of Rúadacán, who I think will be widely regarded as the first emperor. But while it's going to be about him and it's going to talk him up, of course, it's going to be mentioned that Cuilén served in his armies, was one of his top knights. works. That's totally true. His loyal and faithful chancellor, who negotiated directly the vassalization of large tracts of England, saving countless lives and countless wars that allowed Rúadacán to continue his expansion, because that's totally that's totally how it happened. That's absolutely totally how it happened. So it's going to be a rather self-serving tome that will justify Cuilén's right to rule, to succeed Rúadacán. Máel Tolai was ordained to rule by God, but Cuilén was ordained by Rúadacán II. So we will start composing. What I need is a classical tale of the grandeur of my family, a song about the origins of the 100 battles, the Céad Catach. I forgot for a while that's what we're in. The Céad Catach dynasty and how we are destined for greatness. I only need someone who knows how to tell a story. So we have an accomplished storyteller. Gather from the best bards. Unpredictable chance of an exceptional epic. High chance of an exceptional epic. Low chance of an exceptional epic. On second thoughts. So what is called a exceptional epic? A family epic written through the commission. So I think is there a chance that we either get an exceptional epic or we get nothing? We will spend all the money. And speaking of spending all the money, we knew this was coming with a while. We're going to need money, both for our epics and for a number of other things. An acquaintance has died. I'm going to check who that is. We need money for a lot of different things, especially moving on to the feudal age. So we are going to raise our armies in our continental holdings, and we are going to send them at least into Lotharingia, if not possibly into West Francia as well. So here is the man who is charged with writing our work. I think it's Goitene. And he wants to know what we want to focus on. Is it going to be as truthful as possible? We gain piety. Family history, so we gain renown. Or it should focus on me, so we gain prestige. How are we doing for piety? How are we doing for piety? 2.6. I don't think we're going to be able to see it. So we need like 5,500 piety points. I think we'll go for family history. See if we can help the renown. We're not too far off of going up to the next level of glorious. I don't control the dynasty tree or the lineage perks, but we might help somebody in unlocking the next one. We'll go for a family history. I didn't recognize you with your mask on. Here is one of our knights. We gave him Ayrshire. Rúadacán gave him Ayrshire, I believe, after executing most of his family. No, it was Cuilén. Cuilén executed one of his brothers and two of his sister-in-laws. We forced this guy to join us. And his sons have also come to our court, I believe. He was of the house of Hohenau, and because he was given Ayrshire, which includes Kyle, he formed basically a brand new family, the Hohenau Kyle. And yeah, we forced him to convert, and I think we released his sons on the condition that they converted. They've all converted now to insular Christianity. We actually see some Irish names popping in. Is she a count or something? Or no, that's actually part of her name. And so this now is the Earl of Ayrshire, who has succeeded his father. But yeah, this guy was a fantastic knight. He ranked fairly high for us. He has died from his wounds, so I imagine that's due to some of the upheaval. There's a lot of upheaval going on up in this area. We've been fighting. It's where we were fighting for there quite recently. As we're up here, you know what? We might as well take a look at it. He's gone from -16 to -7. he'd want to accept soon enough. And what's even better is that somebody is attacking... I don't think we'll see. There's a queen of Sweden now. There's somebody fighting for... Oh no, it's as part of this war. I think this place is sieged as well, if I am correct. It is, yeah. So they're just sieging this place down as part of the continuing attempts to secure this region. So we've been able to raise just under 5,000 troops. I'm going to split them in half anyway. I'm going to take a quick look at how they have a good enough army. They could respond to us. How is... They have a good enough army. They could respond to us. Everybody could respond to us. Actually, this is the army right here. I didn't spot that. Yeah, I think we'll be a-okay. They're a bit distracted at the moment, so we'll send these two armies. I've split them in half. We'll send them. We'll set them to raiding. We've made this mistake before. I'll send them to here, and I will split them up. I don't think we'll go for any of the major settlements. I think we'll just go for the churches and things. Look at this. Look at the money. Oh, look at this. We're going to take all of their religious artifacts back to Ireland and melt them down. We have a new player heir. I have no idea who this guy is. He's the son of Bran, the former High King of Ireland. He has lover's pox. I don't think we need to worry too much about the High Kingship or about the succession at the moment. This guy would not be a great successor. I wouldn't be delighted to have him as our successor. So we'll see. I think it's fair to say that this is the most terrifying pop-up that we have ever gotten. Never mind anything about assassination attempts. Never mind declarations of war by the Swedish. This is the most terrifying pop-up. Goitne is telling my vassal, High Chieftain Liachnon, about several exciting details he has discovered about my ancestors. Oh dear God, stop. Stop reading now. Stop. Now, I believe the part with the raging ox might actually be true, since... Stop it. I don't want to know what Flann Sinna did with a raging ox. I don't want to know. Surely this can't be put in the book. We've two options. Gain 50 gold by demanding basically just shorten it and put it in song. Or we can gain some prestige and we get shared stories, which gives us, I think it's plus 10 vassal opinion. Yeah, exactly. So that's what we're going to go with. Like I said, the army's been split. It's going in two different directions. It's no secret that my niece is carrying a child conceived through a sinful union. She is not a married woman, after all. This isn't... No, it's not. I thought it was... Because I thought he was dead. It's not the most common name in the kingdom. Our brother, or I should say Rúadacán's brother, had the same name. But I knew that all of Rúadacán's siblings had predeceased him. Indirect, you divil! And she is actually... She's actually betrothed to the indirect that I was thinking of. Rúadacán's half brother. I'm so confused. So yeah. I'm just gonna click on that button. And then I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna click on that button. And since the start of the episode, we've done a full circle. We've come all the ways back to Urquaid again, who we've been supporting since the very start. How long is it taking this army to actually move out of the position? Why? They haven't taken a single step. I have no idea what's going on here. Chieftain Máel Tolai II has created a faction to install his sister on the throne, from what I can see. The devil. Finally, he's making some progress. Well done. That only took months. This guy has actually finished the siege before you. We're probably actually raiding down areas that would have been held by numerous Irish monks. What I want to do is, I want to change to some Reavers and Rovers. So we'll put Leachna on, who we were discussing things with there a couple of seconds ago. So that'll speed that up. And I don't think I have anyone else, really. I don't think I have any other people who are good at sieging down areas. Or who are good at raiding, I should say. No, we don't. We don't have any great. We don't have any great. Yeah, we'll put this guy. We'll put this guy. The factions aren't too bad. Somebody wants independence. They're not in a great position at the moment, and that faction to install a Shiama it's not the most powerful at the moment. Gortna has been caught trying to sneak off from his duties. Thankfully, a guard recognized him as he passed the gates. It is exhausting work. He defends himself day and night. My benevolent lord, I am desperate for a few days' rest. I already knew that I wasn't going to be doing whatever option this is, chaining him to his table. Very well, perhaps a break is in order. We lose some gold, and we get an increased chance of an exceptional epic. Don't you worry, Gortna, don't you worry. You have the entire Bank of Lotharingia at your back. Don't you worry about money. So some rebels have actually come in against the forces of Lotharingia, which is great, because it might weaken them to such a degree where they won't be able to take us on. And as that happened, we get a pop-up, and we also get a notification that our attempts to sway the guy in Lanarkshire have finished. So let's see if we can get him to accept vassalization. First of all, we have the Song of Our People. I mull over the last few lines of Gortna has provided from my family epic. As I start humming, I realize it follows the same rhythm as one of my tribesmen's favorite songs. If the story of my ancestors was set to such a memorable melody, it would surely never be forgotten. I should have asked for this to begin with. Cead Cathach gets 75 renown. I am sure that he can come up with something equally good. So there's a 20% chance that we get nothing. 20% chance that we get 150 prestige. I'm happy enough to say. Get the renown. Oh, look at this. The devil. Offer vassalization -0. Will not accept. Let's see. Yeah, we'll have to wait another round. Where is the send him a gift? That's the problem, is I don't want to send him 150 quid. That's a lot. But yeah, I think if we can sway him once more, we will be able to push him into accepting vassalization. What must Lotharingia be thinking? Just out of nowhere, Irish troops have appeared in giant numbers. That war has ended. So we could be seeing Lotharingia's... Nope, they're disappearing into the night. What must Lotharingia be thinking, though? Just these two massive Irish armies wandering around the place. We could actually send them back and split them further now, because we are losing some men to attrition as we go into various different areas. Gortna has completed my family epic, and what a glorious song he has composed. It has high drama, moral quandary, yeah, I'm sure, and tense duels. Everything my family has been forged from is in there, even the part with the raging ox. Oh god, okay. Seemingly so far-fetched has become a touching moment outlining the dynasty of my house. I don't want to know where Flann Sinna touched that ox. You gain commissioned excellent family epic for 10 years. 75 prestige, 75 renown. Not too good, bad, or indifferent. 5 prestige per month. For how long? For 10 years. Whoa. Okay. I may have mentioned in the past episode or two, I've been having problems with my mouse. So that's why it's just taking me half an hour to click that button. There you go. There hasn't been a change in the succession. Instead, somebody's actually gone off and formed a cadet branch. That's the guys in Essex, if I'm correct. Goitne has completed his work after all the time that he's been to the court. He's now going to depart. I have other places to go and other stories that need telling. I also need you here. He becomes a friend and joins the court. Or as long as you write to me, he becomes a friend and leaves the court. That's fantastic. We could hire him as a physician. Will we hire him as a physician? Do you know, I think we will... Yeah. Doesn't really make an ounce of difference. He's our friend and he's here, so... we might actually hire him as a physician. We might even wander in here. Especially as it's 32. So from Liege, I think... Oh, can we head to there first of all? We can. I have forgotten where we've actually sieged down already. If we could fill the coffers of these guys, it would be fantastic. If we could bring in like 200, 400 gold or something like that, that would be absolutely tremendous. And at the start of this episode, I spoke about what we were going to do with Katrina, our sister, who murdered our mother. Well, we don't need to do anything about her now because she has died from a seizure at 64 years of age. We gain stress. We probably shouldn't. Especially as we knew that that she killed our mother. So apparently we're holding a dinner for no other reason than to try to convince one of the vassals to support our favoured successor. There's a 25% chance it will fail. Do you know what? We'll roll the dice. And we failed. We're heading for the city of Cuilén with 41 loot. We can see that some areas have already been raided down, so it's possible that raiders came down the river here and raided some places. And then the Irish appeared. We'll go for Aachen. Maybe not. Because we're gonna lose stuff. So I might try and swing these guys around, and we're gonna kind of head down actually in the direction that the that Lotharingia was just fighting in. We're going to come back into Irish soil and maybe set off again. Who knows? We'll see what things look like. And we have another perk for the diplomacy lifestyle. It's clear enough what we're going to do. We're just going to take the patriarch trait, unlock that, and so we now are a patriarch. Like I said, gives us plus 20 to fertility. It increases stress loss, and close family opinion, which was already very high, goes up even more, and house opinion actually goes up as well. That's very good. I got a bit of a pop-up about Earl Don Mac Ciarán. Don was somebody that we considered for the High Kingship as well at one stage. I've offered him vassalization a number of times and he has refused. We can see that his wife died. Oh, that's tragic. She was murdered by Earl Don Mac Ciarán. Ciarán was quite a violent man himself. But possibly he's now worried about the fact that he only has a single child. She's in line to succeed him. He's isolated, wedged in between Ireland and England, and it looks like he will just barely accept vassalization. While we speak about vassalization, here is Hastin who we've been trying to sway for the last while. We're quite close to it. And he's very close to maybe going up into the higher figures and accepting vassalization. And he is, of course, the he has a claim to... Oh. It's been conquered by Ulster. That's what you get, Hasteen. That's what you get. You don't have land. I don't want to be your friend. You should have accepted vassalization when it was offered to you. Here's Carlos, who's just created a new branch of the family, the Caelcach Ipswich. That's what is going on with your hair. So what we're going to do is we'll try and sway him. We'll try to sway him. He's actually the head of the family. And if we could get him to accept vassalization, again, it would just make the job so much easier. It would make our job so much easier. So there is Bedford has come into the kingdom. There's actually something that would make getting these guys to accept vassalization a lot easier, but I can't do it at the moment. It's something we're going to look into shortly. We will say excellent. We will take our army and we will move it up to Cologne. I think... Oh, they're not happy. They're not happy. What are we going to do with you guys? We will move you up to here. And we will pull you guys back to here. We're going to lose a chunk of troops, so to say, okay. We will get them together in a position to get out of here. Probably attack. Are we in the same problem again? Are these guys just not moving? We need to do a cross-country run, bring them more to there instead. Yeah, they're not moving. Well, that's a pain. So a fight that we didn't want begins because we couldn't move out of the area. I'm not too sure why that happens. It's quite close, and I think we should get in time to assist. Lotharingia, you don't need all this money. Let me have it. So there's our new knight, Ericer. He's wounded 2 people. Go out of it. This is my money. I stole it fair and square. And I need it. Gudbrand continues to fall down the list. He's gone down to 3rd. Ulfus and Cochmal are in ahead of him. There's Ericer. Giles. Yep, pretty much the same. There's Máel Tolai, who's just after starting a faction to install his sister. So the same old faces. Same old faces. Yeah, so this army isn't moving anywhere. This army is not moving anywhere. Is it just something to do with the commander? We'll try changing it to Gudbrand and move them to there. The other army then is telling me it's moving. Okay, they're actually sending forces in against us, so now would be a bad time if it did move. Now it starts to move when the forces come. That's great. That's great. No, you wanted to fight me. We'll come up to you. You just stay there. You just hold on 5 seconds. We'll be up. Don't you worry. Oh, maybe they didn't want to fight me. Maybe I've caused trouble. Did I cause trouble? No. There's some peasant rebellion going on. I think Now, it would be a good time if we just get our armies out of here, take back what we've made, and we'll see what kind of a position that puts us in. What we've made, what we've earned. One group has bought back 139. And the next group, coming in slowly, 154. Not too bad at all. We had about 700 at the start of this episode. Now, I know we spent it on writing a big book and going to Canterbury. So, I suppose it's not too surprising that we didn't get it all back. We didn't have a great raid there, in fairness. It was kind of a difficult enough area to raid due to the fact that there's been so many peasant revolts kind of springing up all over the place. But you can't complain too much about 300 gold. So we're in a small bit of a problem, which is we can't actually stand down the army because there's hostiles around us. So I'm actually going to have to send them out to mop up some of the hostiles. And that's maybe a bit of an issue, all right, about having such a tiny area, is that pretty much everyone is going to be hostile to us. So we're going to we're going to have to mess all this up a bit for Lombardy. We're pretty much going to have to come in against all of their armies. We're coming against these guys. Is that Essex? Essex, what are you doing here? So this is totally unnecessary. We'll try to bring them back to the farthest corner and stand them down without going in against that that 1,400 strong. We could take them on, but it's just, I don't want to cause more problems for them than is needed. Somebody's trying to kill one of our knights. Not a huge lot we can do at the moment. We saw a couple of pop-ups there. The King of England won against Dundalk. I scrolled out just in case we had lost some land or something. Doesn't look like it. Which at the least is very good. My spy master has come to me with grave news. It appears as though Earl Rectborough of Ossory is plotting against our champion, the vile fiend. He gains 10 dread, and he ends S scheme to underscore action. Good. There'll be no underscore action in this kingdom. So we can stand him down now. This guy has decided to stop moving. Yeah, so movement issues like this, of course, were common during the medieval era. People just forgot how to walk. You see, we're going to have an army coming against us now, because we can't get out of there. Let's see if I can raise all here. There's cadet branches like crazy being created now. That's what you get for taking pity on him. Carlos has been swayed. Dynasty head has changed. So yeah, they received a pretty hefty beating in that battle. Our wife is inviting us to a feast in Trier. Did we visit there? Yes, I think we did. Let's accept the invitation. Let's hope that we don't get killed. She's welcomed us to the feast. I look forward to this. I think it's our first time actually going to somebody else's party instead of our own. Can I stand these guys down, or are there hostiles in the area? I know I just stood them up, but let's see if we can just get out of here. I don't think so. They're coming first, so we're gonna go out and give them a baiting. What started as an ordinary feast became an exceptional one, thanks to this count. Look at us taking part in the affairs of Europe, the Count of Metz. We spoke on all manner of subjects, and as things would have it, we seem to have a lot in common. So we had a great old evening. Can we stand them down from where they are? We can't. Well, that's their major error. Who do we have in command of this army? He's telling us about how he managed to salvage a mess. We could have an interesting conversation for 10 years. On diplomacy and learning, or we could lose some stress and he becomes our friend. Sure, that's beneficial to us. Now, which army is going to actually hit first? Are they going to hit us, or are we going to hit them? That's the least best. That's not what I wanted. What a feast! I will remember the days spent at our wife's house in Europe for a long time. Farewell, my wife. See you the next time there's a party. This was not a great outcome. The armies must have just passed each other by. How many hundreds of Irish and Lotharingia forces have died and we're not even at war? And it's all because some of our armies refuse to move from time to time. Their commander is already dead. Giles or Giles did a fantastic job in actually holding the army at bay. I'm debating now as to what to do. We could just go straight back in there and rampage through the area now that their army is, I would hope, substance. Yeah, it's vastly, I won't say vastly inferior. They will be recouping as time goes on. I think what we'll do is we will stand down the army because we do have a couple of other things that we want to do. There's a couple of other things that I want to do before this gets out of hand, so hopefully they will continue to retreat away. And we can stand down the armies and get back to some conquests on the British and Irish Isles. Some chaotic scenes there. The kingdom has seen a lot of bloodshed in this episode and absolutely no military conquest. We have added 3 counties to the kingdom, and I didn't have to do anything for them. Finchnachta got this one up here. I have no idea who... Oh, Ulster conquered Lanarkshire, and Bedford joined peacefully. We'll have a bit of sorting out of borders to do to get everyone back to where they belong. Let's look at the long list of wars, or the long list of battles that we just fought, and we'll bring this episode to an end. We suffered 18 deaths, they suffered 435. It's a fairly low level engagement. I don't know which direction to start from. I think they were all fought in 1039. So the next one seems to be our defeat in March, am I right? Sure. So here was our hefty defeat in March, where our forces just wouldn't move. We didn't even have any knights. And then we are into 2 victories, one after the other. Olfus with 31, Cochmal, Gudbrand. There's our knight, Homon, who somebody's trying to kill. There's Eriker. Great commander. Not the best knight, but a great commander. Máel Tolai. There's Bran. our spy master. Somebody else that we might consider for the high kingship. And yeah, pretty much the same old. And then our final victory there. I think that was the last one where we came in and drove them out. Yes, it was. Fantastic. Okay. Not too shabby. The kingdom grows slowly. The succession has oscillated backwards and forwards 20 or 30 times. Let's actually just see very quickly who is currently in line for the kingship. It's back to our candidate. Is it? It is. Back to our candidate. Urkea, the couple of people are supporting him, which is fantastic. I think he'd make a great high king. Like I said, a 3-star military figure. Son of Rúadacán, who just led the kingdom for a substantial period of time. He's a drunkard. And he's intelligent. The other thing that we've seen is attempts to offer vassalization to people fail. We're seeing a number of branches of the family being created. So, Leachnaun, that's very interesting. Leachnaun has actually gone and created his own faction. So these are Leachnaun's descendants who we've kind of isolated from the High Kingship. And they've actually now gone and created a cadet branch. The other cadet branch we saw was in Essex. This is the head of the dynasty. And we're trying to offer him vassalization. He's not inclined to accept at the moment. And the other fantastic thing that we've seen is that Norway has taken some land, and that is going to facilitate cutting up this entire region. And the last thing that I might do before we bring this episode to an end is I'll see if I can do it. So this is what I spoke about. And this is one of the things that we wanted to get money for. And to help us to achieve. It's going to be a lengthy episode. We've done a lot. We are going to usurp the Kingdom of England. We now control 3 major crowns. We've gotten a pop-up which is telling us that we can nominate a successor for the Kingdom of England. We see that the entire region has split apart, and what we can now do is come in and see if these guys are going to be more inclined to accept vassalage. Because, of course, they are now under the rule of... they are now being requested to accept vassalage from the King of England. We have a couple of holdouts. Of course, we have East Anglia as well, which I almost missed. East Anglia will not accept vassalization. We have a couple of holdouts. We are going to push for their vassalization or for their conquest one way or another in the next episode. And we might be in a position to complete the conquest of Ireland, the feudalization of the entire region. We've a lot going on in this episode, so that's the very last thing I'll do. Our direct vassals are not going to like us, but we're actually going to pass this law, bring us up to the highest level of tribal authority. We've got the pop-up. We can now adopt feudal ways. So it's going to be even more important that in the next episode, we push for the last couple of remaining places that we need to form an empire. The way we can get that done before Cuilén dies, because then we could see again England actually splitting out, and we're going to try and get the money together to convert to the feudal era. What an episode it was! Thank you for joining me on this one. It's a lengthy one by the looks of it, but there was a lot of things to get done. It's been an exciting couple of years. He's only been in power for a few years, and he's already achieved more than many High Kings did. Thank you for joining me on this episode. Do join me on the next one. It should be quite exciting.